Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters episode 285, Cloud Atlas. My name is Eric.
My name is Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Eric.
How the hell are you?
I thought you were going to say Klaus again, as you said the title.
You were the one that said Klaus.
I know, Klaus. This week is Cloud Atlas. No, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Did you say you're not doing well?
I am doing well.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, wow, moment of honesty from Joe there.
Yeah, I'm usually a big liar. You know, I got my show mode. When I'm in show mode, everything's peachy.
I mean, so it should be.
Exactly.
Better than being a raw fucking nerve all the time.
That's true, man. People who are like that are so annoying. Have you ever noticed that?
I have noticed that.
How are you, Eric?
I'm great.
Awesome. Oh, Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas. Longest movie we've done so far, I think.
Is it?
I mean, 3 hours, almost 3 hours.
Yeah, Mulholland Drive might have been just like slightly longer.
Really?
Or is that 2.5? I don't remember. How long is Dune?
How
long are movies?
Mostly they seem to be 2.5 to 3 hours lately. And they should be 90 minutes.
Right?
I don't know. I think this one is the longest one we've done so far. I think we've had some that have come close. But yeah, I think this takes the prize for the moment.
You're right. Mulholland Drive is 2 hours and 24 minutes.
There we go.
Dune is 2 hours and 35. So yeah, you're right. This is the longest one that we've done so far.
Yeah. So I'm just going to get the game right out of the way.
Let's do it. I love the game. One of David Fincher's best.
It is, actually.
Yeah, it is.
I would like to purchase that on the Criterion edition if I could.
I've been thinking about that as well, actually. I'm still waiting for the Zodiac Criterion. Okay. One of these days. Yeah. One of these days.
I'm actually surprised. Like, he's not one of those directors that at this point everything comes out on the Criterion edition.
Yeah, like they put every Wes Anderson bullshit on Criterion. They should put David Fincher on there as well,
right? I mean, I don't care for David Fincher, but I mean, yeah.
There's a nice 2-disc director's cut edition of Zodiac. The second disc is all like a feature-length documentary with the survivors of the Zodiac attacks. Oh wow! And it's incredible. It's really good.
Are they angry that they're being exploited for David Fincher's Hollywood dreams?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's good.
They're angry for other reasons, like they were attacked by the Zodiac Killer. Reasonably angry, I believe.
Sure, and as far as we know, he's still not caught, right?
As far as we know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, let's get the game out of the way.
Yeah, did you fall asleep during this movie?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I didn't. I knew going in that I was probably going to stop it to take a nap. Because I was already kind of tired when it started.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, about 45 minutes in, there's the part where Tom Hanks and Halle Berry sort of have like a moment of recognition where they see like all of the different time periods sort of flash before, or maybe just Tom Hanks sees it, where it all sort of flashes before his eyes all at once. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, this is where we're going to get going. I'm probably going to want to pay super close attention after this, so I'm going to go ahead and fall asleep right now. So I napped for about 45 minutes at that point, and then I finished the movie.
Well, that's good.
How about you?
So I started watching this Tuesday night, and fell asleep almost immediately.
Okay.
Made it about maybe 10, 12 minutes in before I passed out. And then had to... I tried to keep going. And basically for the first 45 minutes of this movie, I just kept falling asleep and had to keep rewinding. So it took me like an hour and a half to watch the first 45 minutes. And then I decided I can't do this.
This really is the longest movie that you've watched for the podcast, for sure.
Absolutely. So then today, when I got home from work, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I made myself some dinner, and I sat down, and the cat jumped on my lap. Which when he does that already puts me in the mood to just kind of doze.
Sure.
Mostly because that's one of the few times he's peaceful.
So you can comfortably relax and fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Instead of being anxious that he's doing terrible shit.
Sure.
And so... almost the same story. Like within the first 45 minutes, I fell asleep a bunch and had to keep rewinding. And then it got to a point where I was just like, I kind of don't care anymore.
Aww.
And every time I woke up, I was just like, I'm not going to bother rewinding to see what I missed.
Oh no.
I did managed to mostly stay awake for the last 2 hours of this movie.
Okay.
Which, is also a ridiculous thing to have to say.
Right.
But yeah, it was a struggle to get through at first, and then I don't want to say that I was riveted, but I at least kept myself semi-focused.
Yeah. I don't know that I would say that I was riveted by it either. Mm-hmm. But I was definitely interested. Like I feel like I watched really closely to try and just like there are obvious points of connection,
right,
or overlap between the different stories. So you can sort of create a through line to how things are related. But I was also just like watching really closely for more subtle stuff. Mm. That I don't know was necessarily there, or if it was, I didn't see it.
I'm just gonna say this, that the Wachowskis, I don't think they do subtle.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think they are incredibly talented filmmakers, very creative, very. Certainly influential, especially after The Matrix. And they have a lot of through themes that I think not just connects the stories in this movie, but through all their movies.
Absolutely.
But I definitely don't think that they're subtle about what they're trying to say.
I definitely saw you've got, is it 5 or 6 different stories going in this one?
There are 6 stories altogether. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but it's happening across timelines, or across within the same timeline presumably, but across different time periods.
Right.
And I just kept thinking about they talk a lot about, people making the same mistakes over and over again, and just the idea of recurrence. And it reminded me a lot of the Matrix sequels, like just the sort of revelation there that all of this has happened before. It's the Battlestar Galactica thing. All of this has happened before, and all of this will happen again.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah, like just a lot of thematic stuff like that. I haven't seen all of their movies, but I've seen the 3 Matrix movies, and I've seen Speed Racer once. I mean, there's recurrence in that you drive around in a loop, so you're just driving around in a circle. But like, yeah, it just it felt sort of like the culmination of things that I'd seen in other films that they'd made in one package, and in also sort of that way it felt like a little bit of everything all at once.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, but I don't know how well it holds together ultimately.
Yeah, I think that to me is like the biggest problem with this movie is that it they do have those recurring themes that they always touch on, and there's even like stuff like with the neo soul segment with like humans being processed as energy, stuff like that. But
she's the one, basically.
Yeah, essentially. But as a whole, I don't feel like this movie hangs together very well, and so obviously the Wachowskis directed this, but they co-directed it with another gentleman by the name of Tom Tykwer, Tykva, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Who so in the end credits, it basically states that the Wachowskis did the 1849 section, the 2144, and the 2319, whereas Tom Tykwer did the 1936, 1973, and 2012 sections, which kind of makes sense. The 3 that the Wachowskis did definitely have the more visual flair. And the other 3 sections definitely seem more down to earth.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate to say it, but I liked those 3 better.
Okay.
than some of the stuff in like I liked the 1849 stuff, but I just the 2 future segments pretty much checked out every single time that they came on.
Was it because of the weird whatever language they were speaking in the far, far future?
Didn't help. If ever, this was the best time to use subtitles while watching the movie, for sure.
Yeah, I use subtitles throughout. I typically don't, but I as soon as like that's the very first thing that we see is old man Tom Hanks,
right,
speaking New English or whatever it is, and I was like he said 2 sentences, and I thought, I don't have any idea what he just said. I'm definitely gonna need subtitles for this. And I'm glad that I did, because the words that he was saying did not always make sense.
Nope.
But it was interesting. I feel like it got easier to follow. If we had spent more extended periods in that time period, I think it wouldn't, if the whole movie had been like that, I think eventually there would have come a point where it was like, okay, this is just what we're doing.
Right.
It was just like watching a foreign movie at that point, basically.
Yeah. I think that actually brings up a pretty good point about how I feel about this movie.
Okay.
Is that maybe this would have just been better as 6 different movies.
I mean, it feels like 6 different movies.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about the themes, and ultimately the biggest theme of the movie is that, people should just be kind to each other.
Right.
Which is another Wachowski thing where they're just, they're not subtle, but also they're very, very sincere.
Yeah.
About, like, the stuff that they believe in. Like you can definitely tell that they always have their hearts on their sleeves, and they just want to present people as ultimately being hopeful and good, and that is primarily the entire point of this movie. But it takes an incredibly long time to get around there. But it's 6 very different styles of story that, like, I just don't think they work well, as a whole. But I'm also not upset that this happens either. like I'm not mad this exists.
Yeah, no, it's I think we've talked about, I like an interesting experiment. I would rather watch something that tries something and fails than something that plays it safe.
Right.
And also fails. But yeah, like the different, you sort of mentioned, like, tonally the different segments feel like, they do feel like 6 different movies. Like, you've got sort of like a 70s political or crime movie in there.
Right.
And then you've got your sci-fi, and then you've got your old British person comedy. And it's
I'm just gonna, I have to say it right now. This is my favorite part.
It was great. It was delightful. When young Jim Broadbent leapt out of that bed naked, and then the cat and grabbed the cat and used it to cover himself, and the cat just goes nuts. That was so good. Yeah, that whole sequence I loved.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I mean, yeah. There's in that respect, there's something for everybody here. Like, if you don't like one segment, just wait 10 minutes and you'll like the next one, or you'll come back to one that you like.
Yeah, that is pretty fair, actually. But I mean, that one actually, it turned out to be my favorite, but it was the one I was the most worried about, simply just from when Tom Hanks shows up in that part. Doing his very sketchy Cockney accent.
There's a lot of interesting accent work in this movie. Also, a lot of interesting old age makeup.
Not just old age,
and just prosthetics in general.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, borderline offensive.
There's a few rarely seen whiteface instances in this movie, which is interesting. Course,
there's the entire New Soul section, in which the primarily white cast is all made up to look Asian.
True, that's true.
Which is not great.
Yeah. Yeah, Jenny walked through, because I think she heard, is it James Darcy?
Yes.
I think she heard his voice and was like, "Is that the guy from Agent Carter?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's Jarvis." And she looked at him and she was like, "I think that might be offensive." And then she walked away.
Yeah, I'm on Jenny's side.
Yeah.
He is, I think, I mean, he does, out of everyone, have the most sort of screen time in the Asian prosthetics, I think.
Yeah.
And so, just yeah, his presence was just iffy. Like the other white main guy that is in that section. Jim Sturgis is the actor.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of his name either.
Him in the Asian makeup, he sort of looks a bit like Jared Padalecki from Supernatural.
I can see that, yeah.
So
You mean Walker?
Yes, I'm sorry, Walker.
When the eyes of the Ranger are upon you, and the eyes have been made up to look like those of an Asian person, it's offensive.
His was slightly less because he looked like Jared Walker. Yeah,
right.
But Hugo Weaving, when he shows up in Asian makeup, it's pretty yikes.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I get the storytelling, because throughout every story is for the most part the entire cast plays different characters through every story.
Right.
And a lot of them, have to wear, pretty heavy prosthetics to appear different or as different characters. And I get, the whole point of it is reincarnation and like you said, repeating, the same things over and over again. And also just, the morality tale of it all as well. But, maybe, it could have switched that up for, the primarily Asian section of the movie.
Yeah, they probably could have had actual Asian actors there.
Right, yeah.
Other than just the one.
Yeah, Duna Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who, I guess, to be fair, she, plays both a Mexican and a white woman later in the movie.
True.
To not as offensive, but to horrifying effect.
I would say to interesting effect.
When she shows up at the end as Adam Ewing's wife,
yeah,
in the colonial section. It got a big yikes for me there too. So
maybe that's why she's only in like one scene. Because they knew, like, oh, this is a little sketchy. There was originally a whole subplot there.
Like when Halle Berry shows up as a white person, it's I don't know. Not as jarring, but it's still a little just sort of
yeah. It's weird.
It's super weird. This whole movie's weird. I know we say that a lot about most of the movies we watch, but this might be the weirdest so far.
I think so. Yeah, I think this one takes the cake for weird movies that we've watched. Move over, White God.
At least I understood that, like, as it happens,
Right.
Instead of having to, like, think about what was going on. Because, as you know, the worst thing that a movie can do is make you think.
Absolutely, yeah. I just want to sit back and turn my brain off.
Right.
Come on, Wachowskis.
Every episode of this podcast makes us seem dumber and dumber.
Oh, that's just because people are getting to know us.
That is true.
This is show mode, people. This is me at my smartest. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's weird. Like there's a lot to talk about, but I also feel like I don't really know, like we've touched a little bit on everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what else there is to talk about. It's not like we can really like talk through the plots because
there's
six of
different
them.
plots. Yeah. And they range widely from, a caper at an old folks' home to, fighting intergalactic cannibals. I mean, it's...
I swear one of those cannibals was Will Forte. I didn't see him credited. But, like, when he came in, it was after Tom Hanks kills the one, and then he's the one who comes into the room. And I swear, like, you're wearing a lot of makeup, obviously, so
Sure.
I couldn't really tell. But I could have sworn that was Will Forte. I was like, what's he doing here?
Maybe it was. Maybe he was just like, you know what? I'm just hanging out. like Daniel Craig in one of the Star Wars movies, as a stormtrooper.
He's just a big fan. He's a big Cloud Atlas fan.
Yeah, it was based on a book. Yeah,
right.
The book.
Yeah, could be.
So I did just sort of Wikipedia to see what the deal with the book is, and the book seems like it's structured somewhat.
Okay.
Like it is still 6 stories. And from what I could tell, they stayed fairly faithful. But they do them essentially in order. Like they do the colonial period, the 30s, musician, the 70s, the old folks home. And then they do the far, far future one is sort of the centerpiece of the book.
Okay.
And that is the only one that they tell, or that the writer, David Wallace, tells like from beginning to end as like a whole piece.
Okay.
And then from that point, like when that story ends, he goes back in reverse to the other stories to finish them.
Okay.
So sort of like, from the center out, tells the tales of those stories instead of just, every 5 minutes there's a cut to an entirely completely different thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
I mean, I don't know if that would have worked better for the movie, but, it certainly adds to the uniqueness of the movie for sure.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
I don't know that I would ever watch this movie again, but I definitely don't feel worse for having watched it.
Yeah, it feels like a movie that I could see myself watching again. Just because so much of it, I feel like is really just beautifully shot.
Oh, absolutely.
So like from a technical perspective, I feel like I would really, really enjoy watching it again. And, if it was on HBO one day and I just turned it on in the middle, I feel like I could still enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Just cause I thought the characters were interesting. And then, like the visuals were great. And the screwball comedy of the old folks home is I will go back to that. If I could just watch that on repeat, I'd be happy with that.
I'm sure somebody out there has like just YouTube cuts of just those individual stories, right?
I mean, it was so good that they made a movie of it, so
that is true, starring Tom Hanks.
I want to watch that movie. I will not suffer these criminal indignities. Is that what he says? I don't remember.
Criminal abuse.
Criminal abuse, thank you.
Like, I'd say I didn't care for the 2 future segments that much, but I liked individually the others. like on their own.
Yeah.
And I realize again that three of the four of them are done by Tom Twyker. But I really love Run Lola Run, which is him.
Oh, is it? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and then there's another movie that he directed that I also really like, and I can't think of it, and I am looking up his filmography and talking us through it. It is
Awesome.
Perfume, the story of a murderer.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that one.
It is pretty fantastic. Starring Ben Whishaw, who is in this movie as well.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. I loved Perfume. Saw it at the Neon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back when I used to do things.
Back when going to the movies was a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah. Tangent. My boss sent me an email this morning. And it's so the new Spider-Man movie is coming out as we are recording this.
Right.
And so Englewood Cinemas, which is a very tiny little movie theater near where I work. Next week they're showing 8 showings of the new Spider-Man movie for $5 a ticket.
Oh, wow.
And they are donating like all 100% of the ticket sales to like the local school district.
That's awesome.
And I was like, I sort of was talking to my girlfriend, and I was like, because there's not a Spider-Man movie I have not seen in the theater.
Yeah.
Like I can't even say that about Batman movies. And I was like, $5 is cheap. But it was like, yeah, I've been to Inglewood Cinemas before. It's been like 7 years, but like it's kind of a shitty theater. And I know our friend Matt Brassfield often has just rented privately the Inglewood Cinemas.
Right.
Throughout the pandemic, just to watch movies with his girlfriend, which seems a bit ridiculous to me, But it was like,
he likes going to the movies.
Sure. I mean, I do too, to a point.
If he has the funds somehow, go for it.
How does he get that? Anyway. The eternal question.
Yes.
So I texted him. I was like, "Hey, you've been there recently. What's it still like?" And he was like, "Yeah, the seats are kind of shitty, and they lifted all the mask, limits, and they're just allowing full capacity crowds." I was like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, I'm not doing that. I will pay extra money and not have it donated to a charity to sit in comfort and in a seat that I of my own choosing."
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, movies are back.
Yeah. I'm looking at maybe going like Monday or Tuesday of next week, just during the day.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it won't be too crowded, and until then I will just be avoiding. Like Jenny and I are going to a nature preserve tomorrow, and then this weekend I'm just gonna try and not get on the internet at all, because I feel like it will be impossible to not be spoiled.
Yeah, I have as much blocked as possible on Twitter.
Yeah, me too.
But things always get through. People always meme things. Memes don't get blocked. And also, just even a cursory glance at the trending topic will just, fucking have a spoiler in there. So
right? Yeah.
So Twitter's the internet was a mistake.
Yeah, that I think is the lesson to take from this.
I mean, this is just one aspect of why the internet was a mistake.
Right, one of many, for sure.
Yes. Cloud Atlas.
You know what? The internet makes this podcast possible.
It does.
And for that, I am grateful for it.
Yeah, I mean, there are some good things, so... Yeah.
Yeah, Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas.
It was good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
You know, it was... Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know that I can say it was good. It definitely had really good aspects to it. But, you know, whether I liked it or not doesn't matter. It's just that I do wish that more filmmakers would take these kind of chances with the things that they do.
Absolutely, yeah.
And unfortunately, I think, you know, Jupiter Ascending came out after this, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, but and that's the last movies that the Wachowskis have made before they did Sense8, but that was a series.
Right.
And I believe I think Lana has, like, just left filmmaking altogether.
Is it? I couldn't remember if
Or
it
is
was
it
Lana or
Lily?
Lily that had nothing to do with the new Matrix movie. I know
Maybe
one
it's-
of them for sure.
Yeah, maybe it's Lily that bailed, and I'm not. You know, I don't think she bailed. I think she just was just. I know because she was, whoever it is. They're writing on like a TV show.
Okay.
But it's like a lesbian comedy drama.
Okay. All right.
But you know, I think I read something like they just said that, you know, it's like, I got this chance to do, you know, something that felt a little more personal that you just can't do with science fiction.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's cool.
So I think, you know, just this whole blockbuster sci-fi movie thing just kind of ground her down, maybe.
Sure.
And you know, and I'm sure people on the internet did nothing to exasperate that for her either.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure they were all super supportive of everything.
Yeah.
All of her life choices,
Right. Yep.
both creatively and personally.
Sure.
But you know, she's got the Matrix residuals coming in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
She's
doing fine.
fine.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, yeah, The Matrix is still a fantastic movie. The sequels, you know, your mileage may vary.
Right.
I think I like a lot of aspects of both of them, but some aspects of them are kind of yeah. And you know, Bound, I think, is still a fantastic movie. I loved Speed Racer. And Jupiter Ascending was certainly a thing that I watched once.
Right. Yeah, I think the only Wachowskis movie that I've not seen is Bound at this point.
I would highly recommend it. It's definitely very different.
Yeah.
But you can, you know, definitely tell that they've got the goods. You know, they definitely know how to make a pretty fucking great movie, like with limited resources. And
nice.
It's weird, you know, when you think about the fact that they made that in order to prove that they could make The Matrix.
Right.
And it's like, that's a huge fucking leap. And I cannot remember which one, of course, you know, used to write Clive Barker comics at Marvel.
Oh, wow, okay.
I think at the time it was Andy.
Okay.
Who I believe is now Lily.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Yeah, because this movie is credited as Lana and Andy.
Right.
So yeah, that would make Andy now Lily. And I believe that was the one who wrote like Ecto Kid.
That's awesome.
For Clive Barker's.
That's really great.
What the hell was his line? The razor line or something like that. 90s comics.
Yeah, gotta love it. Oh boy. Well, yeah, I think that's all I got on Cloud Atlas.
That's fine. Yeah, the Wachowskis. Whether you like their movies or not, I think they always make interesting choices, and I'm always going to be interested to see what else they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Together or separately. Even though I have no idea what this lesbian show is. So.
Is anything making you particularly happy this week?
So this is actually going to technically be something that's going to make me happy in the future.
Okay.
Because we are recording this mid-December. This will come out early January. And I have decided that as of January 1st, I am no longer going to be on social media.
Nice.
I am fucking tired of it. And I am already anticipating it and just how good it will feel to not be on Twitter or Instagram anymore.
Well, I will miss interacting with you.
You can always text me.
Oh, okay. It's not the same, because then people can't see us. Why don't you want our friendship to be public?
Well, we'll still be doing the show.
All right.
And, you can always, I'm still going to be posting on my blog, so you can always respond to that, because nobody has in 7 years.
All right. I'll have to set up like an RSS feed or something feeder to get your blog updates.
There you go. I mean, I pay money for that thing, so I should use it.
True. Do you still cross post that stuff to Patreon as well?
I haven't in a while, but as of the new year, when now that I'm so the biggest reason that I've decided this, other than just how awful fucking everything is that I'm real fucking tired of posting things on Instagram and Twitter in which, if I don't figure out like the right algorithm and time to post these things, that, it is the difference between, two of my friends seeing what I post or none of my friends seeing what I post.
Yeah.
And then, still, even when I figure it out, still only getting like the same 5 people, liking what I do. And I'm not in it for that, but it's nice to be seen every once in a while.
Yeah, validation is good.
Yeah. And, I've never really made much money promoting myself on any, social media platform. And then when you add in, fucking things like Nazis and transphobes and homophobes and all the phobes and Republicans in general, conservatives, fuck them. And I'm just fucking tired. So now that I won't be posting anything on Instagram or Twitter, I will be cross-posting back on Patreon as much as I can. So
excellent.
Yeah.
I get emails when you post there, so I will not miss things. That's
All
good because
right,
I don't always see stuff on Twitter, and my Instagram usage is real spotty.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be nice for me anyway.
All right. Yeah, and again, I can just text you, I guess. Like, hey, Joe, I updated my blog.
Yeah, do you want to have to do that every single time?
No.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, all right.
Just do it on Patreon. I'll be happy.
But also, like with that is, I'm the sketch day is ending again, so I won't be posting every day either. So
right.
It's just it'll just be nice.
Well, that if you're not doing it every day, that means when I get a notification that you did do it, it'll be even more special.
There you go. and I'm not deleting my accounts. Like, I'm just gonna, I'll keep them up, and whatever my last post promoting, just whatever is, that'll be there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna actively avoid reading and looking at things and posting things, because nobody wants to hear from me anyway.
Well, that's awesome. I wish you luck with that.
Yeah, and like I said, it's if it the same 4 people anyway, and like I already know like 3 of them in real life, then I'd rather just talk to those people in real life.
Right.
Yeah. And then the downside, is of course, I won't be able to see an article on the beat and then almost text it to you because I think you'd be interested, and then discover that you actually wrote it.
I will miss that. That is one of my favorite things.
I do always double check now.
I appreciate it.
Oh, anything bringing you joy, sir?
Oh boy. We're watching Little House again, which is really nice.
What happened to Ally McBeal?
Oh, we're alternating.
Oh, okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah. There's. So Ally McBeal is 20 years old or whatever at this point, so this isn't a huge spoiler. But there's a storyline in the 3rd season, which we're on now, where one of the lead male characters basically becomes like a men's rights activist.
Oh.
And like as his behavior has become increasingly unhinged, like I've just been like, what are they doing with this? Why are they doing this? Where is this going? And at one point I blurted out like, does he have a brain tumor or something? And I looked over at Jenny, and she just looked at me like, I'm not gonna tell you, but yes, he absolutely does. So now, like, okay, maybe this is the thing that's bringing me joy, is watching this show and seeing how far they're gonna take this, knowing that eventually it's going to be revealed that the reason he is acting this way is that he has a literal brain tumor. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see how this plays out. So yeah, that's the thing that's bringing me joy this week, I guess.
All right.
Brain tumors.
Oh man. I honestly thought that story was going to go in a different place. With Jenny, side eyeing you, but I'm glad it went in the place where it did.
Yeah, no, the look that she gave me was very much like, I think she was shocked that I had accurately guessed it.
Uh-huh.
And she desperately wanted to say that that's what it was, but also didn't want to spoil it for me.
I get that. As I've mentioned, I've been dating someone recently, and we have had very different experiences as far as movie watching and entertainment goes.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of things that I want her to watch, but like I don't want to tell her about them.
Absolutely. Yeah,
because
I get that.
I want you to experience it.
Yeah.
So last night we watched Wet Hot American Summer.
Awesome.
Which she had never seen or heard of.
Wow.
Right? And of course, when it starts and it's, showing like the cast, and she's like, oh my God, is that, like Bradley Cooper, what?
Yeah.
So that was fun, but then like, she's laughing her ass off through the movie, but then also following up is, what the fuck is this movie? And it was like, if I would have told you beforehand that this was the movie I was going to make you watch, you would have, looked it up on IMDb and, spoiled it for yourself. And it was like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So no, that's always fun.
That's what I got for this week.
Alrighty, well, that's fun. I'm glad you're still enjoying Ally McBeal and Little House on the Prairie.
Do you have a movie in mind for next week, sir?
I do. This is a movie that as far as I know, it's still on HBO Max.
Okay.
I guess I should probably double check. But I literally only just heard about this a few months ago. It is a crime drama from the mid to late 70s, starring Peter Falk. It is called Mikey and Nicky.
Okay.
And I am double checking just to make sure it is still on HBO Max. It is.
Excellent.
1976, starring Peter Falk and John Cassavetes.
That's awesome.
That's what I would like to watch.
Awesome. I have never heard of that, but I love Peter Falk, so let's do it.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Awesome.
Alright, well then we'll do that next week on the podcast.
Sounds good. Come back next week for another exciting episode of The Viewmasters.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.